The thing about the ARA is the regular R isn't usually too hard for people to learn, but the ARA, Americans are very famous for not being able to pronounce it. It is difficult to learn. I spent like 15 years trying to learn it and practicing and never could get it. And it was very frustrating, and it was a psychological barrier for me with the language. But now that I can do it, it's definitely a confidence booster with the language. And when I learned it, it actually only took me about a week to learn. And what I did was I just watched every YouTube video I could. I watched maybe only like 10 YouTube videos before I finally kind of got it. I looked up trilled R, rolled R, double R, Spanish R, Italian R, and I got the these little tidbits from several different videos, and eventually it was enough to get over the hang-ups that I had, and I was able to do it. So the first tip with learning the rolled R is that it should sound a little bit, you don't visualize it like an R. When you write an R out on paper, just forget about that. Throw that out of your mind. It's actually more like an L, a D, or a T, because the position of your tongue is much more similar to those. So in an R, you can see R, my tongue can be very far back, but with a T, a D, or an L, P, D, L, my tongue is right behind my teeth. So more accurately, it's more like this sound. Try to do that. Like in the 90s, they had those little like plastic thimble things. You could like invert them and put them on a table, and then they would slowly contract, and then all of a sudden pop. Kind of makes that sound. Try that sound. And what you're doing there is you're actually flicking your tongue, the tip of your tongue, against that hard part on the roof of your mouth, right behind your teeth. Oftentimes you'll hear people saying that you need to put your tongue behind your teeth. The tongue isn't actually really supposed to touch your teeth when you make the sound. It really is more touching that hard little bump that is very close behind your teeth. Okay, so make that sound, and you'll see that I'm actually like holding my breath. I'm constricting my throat when I do that, and I'm just letting out a little puff of air. So the second tip then is, this is what really did it for me, is to exhale. Exhale while you're making the sound. It's not like you're blowing air. It's more like ha, ha, ha. Put your tongue in that position, do that little flick, and exhale. You can try it with some really cool words like Monterrey. Monterrey. We're in Monterrey. Monterrey. Now, bringing it full circle with the vowels, if I use the more American pronunciation of Monterey, and I have that E go a little forward, or if I do Monterrey, it's actually harder to pronounce. So a secret to the rolled R is that always make sure that you're doing the short vowel for the vowel that precedes it and that comes after it, because it will make the ARE sound much better, and it makes it easier to pronounce that ARE. So here's some words. Monterrey, burro, borracho is one of my new favorites. It means drunk. So, believe it or not, one of the highest recommendations for learning the rolled R is to have a little bit to drink. Cheers. Yeah, so that's how you do it. Did you like that? Now the only way that you can disconnect yourself from the mainstream media is by subscribing yourself to channels like these, in which I'll be sharing more travel videos, language instruction, and gonzo journalism. So please subscribe, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs.